Far away from the big city, there was a small town. This town was not famous. No tourists came here. No big buildings were there. Life moved very slowly in this town. People woke up early in the morning. They opened their shops. Children went to school. Old people sat outside their houses and talked about small things. During the day, the town looked normal and peaceful. The sun shined softly, and birds flew in the sky. But when evening came, the town changed. The roads became empty. The shops closed early. People went inside their houses and locked their doors. No one liked to stay outside after sunset. There was one road in the town that people never used at night. It was long and narrow. Tall trees stood on both sides of the road. Their branches looked like dark hands in the night. When the wind blew, the leaves made strange sounds. At the end of this road, there was an old house. The house was very big but very silent. Its walls were dark and broken. The paint was peeling off slowly. The windows were tall and empty, like eyes that were always watching. No light came from the house at night. No sound came from inside. Even animals avoided that place. Dogs stopped barking near that road. Cats never went close to the house. People said many stories about the house. Some said they heard footsteps at night. Some said they saw shadows moving near the windows. Some said they heard crying after midnight. But no one stayed there long enough to know the truth. Everyone agreed on one thing. The house did not feel right. Old people warned children not to go near that road. Parents told their kids to return home before dark. When someone asked about the house, people changed the topic. Fear lived quietly in the town, just like the house itself. Every night, when the moon rose, the house stood alone at the end of the road. Silent. Dark. Waiting. One morning, a young college student came to the town. His name was Sam. He was new to the place. He did not know anyone in the town. Sam came from a big city. He was used to noise, traffic, and crowds. This town felt too quiet for him. The silence made him feel strange, but also curious. Sam had come to the town for his college studies. He needed a place to stay. He wanted a room that was cheap and close to college. He did not care much about comfort. He only cared about saving money. He walked through the town with his bag. He looked at small houses and hostels. Some houses were too expensive. Some rooms were already full. Finally, an old landlord came near him. The landlord had gray hair and tired eyes. He looked at Sam carefully, from head to toe. The landlord spoke slowly and asked, "Are you new here?" Sam smiled and said yes. He told him that he was looking for a room. The landlord stayed quiet for a moment. Then he said, "There is one place." They started walking together. The road became more and more empty. Shops disappeared. People became fewer. Soon, they reached the road no one liked. Tall trees stood on both sides. The air felt heavy and cold. Sam looked ahead and saw the old house. It stood at the end of the road. Dark. Silent. The landlord stopped walking. He did not go closer. "That house," he said softly. "No one stays there for long." Sam laughed lightly. He did not believe in such things. He thought people in small towns were afraid for no reason. He looked at the house again. Something in his chest felt uneasy. But he ignored the feeling. "I will take it," Sam said. The landlord's face became serious. He did not smile. He only said, "Do not say I did not warn you." The wind blew softly. The trees made a low sound. The house stood still. As the sun slowly went down, Sam stood in front of the old house. The sky turned orange and then dark blue. Shadows became longer on the road. The trees moved gently in the wind. Sam held his bag tightly. The house looked bigger in the evening. The walls were darker than before. The windows looked empty and deep. He walked toward the door. Each step felt heavy. The ground made a soft crunch sound under his feet. Sam reached the main door. He placed his hand on the handle. The metal felt cold. Very cold. When he pushed the door, it opened slowly. The door made a long, loud sound. The sound echoed inside the house. Inside, the air smelled old and dusty. It felt like the house had been closed for many years. Sam stepped inside carefully. The house was silent. Too silent. His footsteps sounded very loud on the wooden floor. The floor creaked under his weight. Every small sound made him stop and listen. He turned on his torch. The light moved across the walls. The walls had deep cracks. The cracks looked like long lines, almost like fingers. Sam walked into the living room. The room was empty. No furniture. No pictures. But Sam felt like he was not alone. He told himself to stay calm. He chose a small room to sleep. He placed his bag on the floor. Night came slowly. The outside world became quiet. No cars. No voices. Suddenly, Sam heard a soft sound. Tap. Tap. He stopped breathing. The sound came again. Tap. Tap. It sounded like someone touching the wall. Or someone knocking very softly. Sam's heart started beating fast. He looked toward the dark hallway. The torchlight shook in his hand. The sound stopped. The silence returned. But the fear stayed. The night became deeper and darker. Sam lay on his bed, staring at the ceiling. He could not sleep. His eyes were open, but his body was still. The house felt different at night. The air was cold. Very cold. Sam pulled the blanket closer to his chest. He listened carefully. There was no sound. No wind. No insects. No movement. Suddenly, the clock on his phone showed 12 o'clock. Exactly 12. At the same moment, Sam felt something change. The air became heavier. The silence felt louder. Then he heard it. A sound. Slow. Heavy. Step. Sam held his breath. Step. His heart started beating fast. The sound was coming from outside his room. Step. It sounded like footsteps. Someone was walking in the hallway. Sam sat up slowly. His hands were shaking. He did not want to move. The footsteps came closer. Step. Step. They stopped near his door. Sam stared at the door. The door handle did not move. But the shadow under the door grew darker. The temperature dropped suddenly. Sam felt cold on his skin. Then, very slowly, the footsteps moved away. Step. Step. The sound faded into the darkness. The house became silent again. Sam did not sleep after that. He stayed awake until morning. Watching. Listening. Waiting. Slowly, the night ended. The dark sky began to change color. Morning light entered the room through the window. Sam was still awake. His eyes were red. His body felt heavy. He had not slept even for 1 minute. When the sun rose, the house looked normal again. The fear felt smaller in daylight. Sam told himself that the night was only his imagination. He got out of bed and stood on the floor. Suddenly, he stopped moving. The floor felt cold. Too cold for a morning. Sam looked down. His eyes became wide. There were marks on the floor. They looked like footprints. Bare footprints. Wet footprints. But the floor was dry. No water. No mud. The footprints were fresh. They were dark and clear. Slowly, Sam followed the marks with his eyes. The footprints came from the hallway. They moved across the room. They stopped near his bed. Exactly near the place where he had been sleeping. Sam felt a tight pain in his chest. His hands began to shake. He bent down and touched the floor. It was cold. Ice cold. Suddenly, a cold wind passed near his neck. Sam turned around quickly. No one was there. The house was silent again. Sam stood alone in the room. The footprints slowly began to fade. But the fear stayed. And Sam knew one thing clearly now. Something had been inside the house last night. And it was still there. After seeing the strange footprints, Sam could not stay calm. His mind kept thinking about the night. The cold air. The footsteps. The marks on the floor. He walked out of his room slowly. The hallway was long and narrow. Sunlight did not reach the end of it. As Sam walked, the floor made soft sounds. Creak. Creak. At the far end of the hallway, he noticed something new. A door. He was sure that door was not there before. Or maybe he had not seen it. The door was old. Very old. The wood was dark and broken. A heavy chain was wrapped around it. A big lock held the chain tight. Sam stood in front of the door. He felt nervous. His heart started beating faster. The air near the door was cold. Colder than the rest of the house. He reached out his hand slowly. His fingers trembled. When he touched the door, he pulled his hand back quickly. The door was freezing. That night, Sam could not stop thinking about the locked room. He stayed in his bed, staring at the ceiling. Then he heard a sound. Very soft. Very weak. It sounded like crying. The crying came from the hallway. From behind the locked door. It was not loud. It was slow. Painful. Like someone asking for help. Sam sat up on his bed. His breath became fast. His body felt heavy. The crying continued. Sam stood up slowly and walked toward the hallway. Each step felt dangerous. He stood in front of the locked door again. The crying stopped suddenly. Silence returned. The lock moved slightly. Click. Sam stepped back in fear. The door did not open. But something behind it was awake. That night, Sam could not sleep. The sound of crying stayed in his mind. The locked door stayed in his thoughts. The house was quiet again. Too quiet. Sam felt uneasy in his bed. His chest felt heavy. His throat felt dry. He decided to get some water. He walked slowly toward the bathroom. The hallway felt longer at night. The light from his phone was weak. Inside the bathroom, the air was cold. Very cold. Sam turned on the light. The mirror hung on the wall in front of him. It was old and slightly broken. He bent down and washed his face with water. The water felt freezing. Slowly, he lifted his head. He looked into the mirror. At first, he saw only himself. His tired eyes. His pale face. Then something changed. Behind his reflection, another face appeared. The face was not clear at first. It was pale. Very pale. The eyes were dark. Deep. Empty. The mouth was open slightly. But no sound came out. Sam's body froze. He could not move. He could not scream. The face slowly smiled. The smile was not normal. It was wide. Wrong. Sam turned around quickly. There was no one behind him. His heart was beating loudly. He turned back to the mirror slowly. The face was still there. This time, it was closer. The mirror cracked suddenly. Sam screamed and ran out of the bathroom. The light turned off by itself. The house became silent again. But Sam knew one thing now. He was not alone. And whatever was inside the house, it could see him. When morning came, Sam left the house quickly. He did not eat breakfast. He did not look back. The sunlight felt weak that day. The town looked quiet, but something felt wrong. Sam walked to the market. He needed answers. He needed to talk to someone. Near a small tea shop, an old man was sitting alone. The old man had white hair and deep lines on his face. His eyes looked tired, but sharp. When the old man saw Sam, he became still. He looked at Sam for a long time. Then he spoke slowly. "You stayed in the house at the end of the road." Sam felt cold inside. He asked softly, "How do you know?" The old man pointed at Sam's eyes. "Fear," he said. "I can see fear." Sam sat near him. His hands were shaking. He told the old man everything. The footsteps. The crying. The mirror. The old man listened quietly. He did not look surprised. Then he began to speak. Many years ago, a family lived in that house. They were kind people. They had one small child. One night, a fire started inside the house. The door was locked from outside. No one came to help. The family cried. The child screamed. But no one opened the door. They died inside the house. The old man lowered his head. "Their pain stayed," he said. "The house remembers." Sam felt tears in his eyes. His heart felt heavy. The old man looked at him again and said softly, "If the house has chosen you, it will not let you leave easily." The wind passed through the market. Sam felt cold. The truth was clear now. The house was not empty. It was full of memories and suffering. That evening, Sam returned to the house. He did not want to go back. But all his things were still inside. The road felt longer than before. The trees looked darker. The wind felt cold on his skin. When Sam reached the house, the sky was already dark. The house stood silent, just like always. He opened the door and stepped inside. The door closed behind him with a loud sound. Bang! Sam turned quickly. He tried to open the door again. It did not move. He pulled harder. Nothing happened. The house felt different now. The air was heavy. The walls seemed closer. Suddenly, the lights went off. Darkness filled the house. Sam heard footsteps. Not one. Many. They came from every direction. Step. 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 The sound grew louder. Sam ran toward the hallway. The floor shook under his feet. The locked door at the end of the hallway was open now. A cold wind came from inside that room. From the darkness, shadows began to move. They were slow. Long. A soft voice filled the house. You stayed. Sam screamed and ran back. The windows were sealed shut. The walls felt alive. The crying returned. Louder. Angrier. The shadows came closer. Sam fell to the floor. His body shook. His breath was short. A cold hand touched his shoulder. The house whispered one final truth. You belong here now. Slowly, the night passed. The sky began to change color. Dark blue turned into light gray. Morning came to the small town. The birds started singing again. The road became quiet and normal. Everything looked peaceful. The house at the end of the road stood still. No sound came from inside. No light appeared in the windows. People in the town began their day. Shops opened. Children went to school. No one spoke about the house. Later that morning, an old man walked near the road. He stopped and looked at the house. He felt a strange sadness. The front door was open. Inside the house, everything was silent. The air was cold. The walls were dark. On the floor, near the bed, a bag was lying. It was a college bag. Inside it were books and papers. But Sam was not there. In the hallway, fresh footprints appeared again. They were small. Wet. They moved slowly across the floor. They did not go outside. They went toward the locked room. The door closed by itself. Click. The house became silent again. At night, some people said they saw a light in the window. Others said they heard soft footsteps. The house had a new memory now. Some places never forget pain. Some doors should never be opened. And some houses never let their guests leave.